Religion and philosophy are inseparable.
Okay. You are welcome once again to this day's edition of our programs on Noble TV Live. With me to discuss an important issue is Mr. Gray Almona. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you for the privilege.
Yes. So I have invited you here actually to help me look at the issue of religion as it is practiced in our country.
Okay.
We have a lot of persons who are given to extremism when it comes to religion. And we also have some persons who are probably not aware that whatever our religion may be, it's not the only one in the world. Because the world today has a lot of religions. Many societies have their own religions originally,
Yes.
And these people are still practicing their own religion. Some of us draw our inspiration from abroad, and we now appear to be crying more than they believe. Why the people we are drawing inspiration from are no longer too serious about whatever they believed in the past? We are now getting more fanatical about all these things. So the question is, how do you view religion and the reaction of Nigerians on religious beliefs?
Okay, two-pronged inquiry. First of all, concept and perception of religion. It is simply a system of belief patterns, attitudes, and practices related to such belief patterns and associated with a group of people, also with an individual. Because when you talk about religion, the process starts from the micro level, the individual,
Okay.
that transposes to the group. So when it transposes to the group, it becomes more explicit before the universal, community as a world. So that is how we see religion. It is simply a system of belief patterns, practices related to, but the central point is the supreme being.
Okay.
Related to a supreme being.
A channel of
yes, and that supreme being is God.
Okay. God.
So God is, an extraordinary phenomenon because independent of whichever we look at, whichever denominational, because religion is denominationalism.
Yeah.
Whichever denominational perspective you assume, the most important thing, what binds all of us relative to religious practices, behavior, belief patterns, is belief in a supreme deity, God. But the interesting thing, coming to me, is that that belief, a supreme deity, now crystallizes into different cognitive patterns, perceptual patterns. Some now say, okay, that belief in a supreme being, it assumes a particular nominal entity: Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, which
Christian, African traditional
practice of yoga and all that. And then you also have the basic thing, where, because Africa is our reference point, the basic thing is the African belief pattern is is based on what you call it is built around the concept of traditional religion.
Okay.
Traditional religion is the worship of ancestral
beings,
quantities. We now refer to as what you call, yes, ancestors.
Yes.
But because we give them some kind of prominence, subconsciously it now conflicts with our own notion of the supreme being.
Yeah.
For instance, we associate them with a certain punitive measures relative to offense or wrong behavior. So we now invoke a curse. If you do this, or if you steal, this is what is going to happen. And we now say, it's a particular name. You understand? So that's the African traditional religion. So the issue is Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Hare Krishna, and all such external concepts that are encroaching on the African religious space. They have created a certain behavioral pattern among adherents, leading to what you now call extremism. Extremism is the attitude of non-tolerance of the other person's belief pattern, and that non-tolerance transposes to aggressive and sometimes violent behavior. occasionally involving the use of firearms, where the case may be, wherever the case may be, So that is the problem we have.
Okay, now when you see some persons actually arguing as though God is stranded, you just mentioned that some person who may be sometimes prompted to use a gun to influence other persons to enforce their belief,
enforce your opposition to your own standpoint.
Yes. Does that not appear as if one is believing God is stranded? God cannot help himself, because if you believe in your own because you mentioned the fact that religion is a kind of a channel through which you get to God,
exactly,
the supreme being. Now, if I'm using my own religion to get to God, you're using your own to get to God, and at a point I'm not like trying to challenge your own now. Is it that God himself cannot even force his own authority on you to believe in my own religion?
Thank you very much. The truth is that religion and philosophy are inseparable.
Okay.
And God gave man free will. That's the beauty of the Creator.
Okay.
God is lenient. He gave you, the freedom to exercise your choice. Now the problem is adherence of other religions is the basic contestants on the African cognitive space is Islam and Christianity. Those two religions have created kind of a dichotomy, and so it's creating a conflictual relationship. And I dare say that one, out of the two appears to be, I won't mention that one because I don't want anybody to comment on me. One out of the two appears to be more, aggressive and pushy. And you see, the most important thing is to allow, the other individual. You have, if XYZ, practicing different belief patterns, XYZ should recognize the individual freedom of one of the three to pursue, his or her own commitments. Because at the end of the day, the free will, like bequeathed to man, by the supreme being, if it is frittered, or if it is kind of compromised through violent acts, intolerance, at the end of the day, the purpose of it is defeated, and the supreme being will not like it. The most important thing is that the supreme being does not know Christianity or Islam, or what he knows is the law. That is why his son preached love. Incidentally, when I say his son, the other person over there must say, I'm not coming to my own.
So there's a son there. There's a son there.
So whether it's Muhammad or Jesus or Hare Krishna or whatever, the most important thing is that the recognition of the right to pursue a course of action that is consistent with his own notion of the supreme being should be respected. If it is not respected, that leads to violence, extremist tendencies.
Okay, now what in your view is supposed to be the role of prayer? And whatever it is now that was provided for, or talking about Christian belief now, the fruit of righteousness, as it were, that is patience, temperance, and all that, tolerance and all that. So what is in your view is supposed to be the role of these virtues, as against imposing my own carnal or physical infliction on you?
The role of prayer, supplication to God for a particular, requesting for a particular value, benefit to be accorded to you. Mostly, in the Bible, King Solomon asked for wisdom. And God, so you asked for wisdom. You're not even materialistic, so take the others. So prayer is supposed to be a rallying point that should bring humanity together. And prayer is about humility, it's about love. The central tendency in all these things is love. Love is not negotiable. If you pray to God and love is not there, you are filtering that freedom you are given. So the function of prayer in this context is to actually, create a rallying point where others are loved equally. Do unto others what you have them do unto you. That is basic. Yes.
So, viewers, you have heard it all from Mr. Gray Almona. We have just concluded that God is not stranded. Whether you belong to one religion A or religion B, the central focus is supposed to be, because we have agreed that a religion is supposed to be a channel through which you get to your God. And therefore, don't overrate or underrate the significance of praying, because if you pray to your supreme being, that is God now, he will hear you. And if you tell your supreme being, that is God now, that this is what you want your society to be like, and you are doing that fervently, believing in what his injunctions of law on love, he will hear you. And there is no need for struggles, to ensure that you enforce what ordinarily should be God's idea on other persons. Pray and God will hear you. Do the right thing and your prayers will be answered. So on that note, I want to say thank you to Mr. Gray Amona for honoring this invitation.
Thank you.
And for you that you have been watching, don't just end there like I always say. Also share and click on the notification button so that next time you just open your whatever it is, Facebook or YouTube, you just get notification on other issues we are discussing. So thank you very much for always being with us on Noble TV Live. My name remains Augustine Omilo, who have just recorded this program.